Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Code with Dharmaveer, and in this video we are going to talk about JVM architecture in a beginner friendly level. So let's get started here. In the introduction part we are going to talk about have you ever wondered what actually happens when you run your Java program? You write some Java code and click on run, and then magically it works, right? So but what happens, why but what but how does Java really works behind the scene? We are going to talk about in this video. So in this video we are going to talk about I'm going to explain you about the Java internally, how it works, the compilation, second is the bytecode, and the third one is the JVM architecture in a simple and beginner friendly way. So why this topic is important? This topic is important because we the understanding of the Java is very important. How does a Java works is really very important. This concept is basically asked in interviews and in system design round as well. Also, it helps us to write a better Java code. So don't skip this video. This is the foundation topic for Java programming. Now the step one starts here with writing a Java code. So everything starts with writing with a Java source file. For example, if you have a file name called as hello-world.java, so this file contains a human readable Java code, whatever Java code we write. So that is in the human readable format. Okay. But the computer does not understand this Java directly. So the step two comes into the picture, the compilation process. This is where the compiler comes into the picture. The when we run the command javac followed by your file name hello-world.java, the compiler checks the code and it checks the syntax errors, it checks the code structure, and it also checks the logical correctness to some extent. If there are some errors, the compilation will fail, and if there are no errors, then the compilation will successful and it will generate a new file. And this new file is called as Java bytecode file. Okay, so bytecode file. Now, writing a Java program is the first thing. So, basically, thing is you can see that on the screen. You have a sample Java program here. The class is a keyword here, followed by the class name, and you have the main method public static void main string args, and followed by a print statement hello world. So, thing to remember is there is that the file name and the class name should be same. The hello world is your class name, that should be same as a file name. Okay, now there are two steps. First you need to compile a Java file that will Java compiler is going to compile that Java file, and then second step is Java you have to run the command Java hello world that will generate a bytecode file, and that will be used by JVM. So let's try to demonstrate this example first. I'll open my command prompt here. Okay, and I'll make a directory here, mkdir java practice. I'll say enter. Okay, I'll go into that directory. Java practice. Okay, now I'll write my code onto the notepad file. So I'll say notepad followed by Java followed by my file name hello world dot java. I'll press enter. Okay, this will open a prompt here, notepad. It's saying, do you want to create a file? I'll say yes. Okay, now I'll write the side that sample code. I'll just copy paste that code here. So I'll just copy paste my this code here and I'll save it. It's the same code we just discussed now. Okay. Now it's a main method. You have a main method here and you have class name as hello world. Now I will run the command as javac, okay, followed by your file name hello world.java. I'll press enter. See, the compilation is successful. Okay, no errors came. We can that will if the compilation is successful, then it's going to generate a class file for us. Okay, so we'll look for this class file here. I'll press dir. See, after pressing this dir command, I can see that my hello world.java is my file and that hello world.class, this is a bytecode file, is being generated here. Okay, now I want to run this Java program. So simply I'll say Java my hello world file name. I'll press enter. So see, I got an output. We got an output here, hello world. So our output is generated here. So we have understood here, when we compile the Java code or Java file, then the class file hello world.java, hello world.java is compiled, then the class file hello world.class file dot class is being generated. That is basically a bytecode file. Okay, and you run after that Java followed by hello world. So it is going to give you a output on your screen. Okay, now let's move ahead. See, what is a bytecode? The bytecode file has an extension .class. I've already I've already told you. This bytecode is not a machine specific, and this is the biggest power of Java. So it's not dependent on the machine. It's basically write once and run anywhere. So that's why Java has that Vora feature because of this. So bytecode is basically the intermediate step that can run on any system that has a JVM. So bytecode is an intermediate code that is going to run on any of the system which has a JVM. Now step 3 is JVM, that is Java Virtual Machine. Now comes the most important component. JVM is the most important component. JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine, you know that. It's a virtual machine that runs a bytecode. So JVM is going to run the bytecode. JVM acts as a bridge between the bytecode and the operating system. So JVM is acting as a bridge. On one side of the bridge you have bytecode, and other side of the bridge you have operating system. So this is JVM is connecting both the two things here. Now this is a simplified architecture of JVM. As we have already discussed that Java source code is having the extension .java, then Java compiler compiler command is javac. That after that, running that javac compiler command, the bytecode file, that is a .class file, is generated. So this is basically a process. Now look for this whole thing, JVM. This is the whole thing is JVM, and JVM consists of various components here. First and foremost is a class loader. Second is runtime memory areas. You have method area, you have heap area, you have stack area. Then you have execution engine and you have native method interface also. So this whole thing is the JVM. It comprises of various components. Now let's look these components one by one. First one is the class loader. The it loads the class loader loads the .class file into the memory. So the job of the class loader is to load the .class file into the memory, and without loading the class file, JVM cannot do anything. JVM cannot execute anything. So the first and foremost important thing is that the class file is to be loaded into the memory, and this job is done by the class loader. So think of JVM just like a chef who is going to execute all those things, who is going to prepare the things for you. And JDK as a restaurant is a complete package, and GRE is a Java runtime environment as a restaurant. Okay, so basically the all the thing is being done in the kitchen, and it is GRE is just like affirmation, just like, or you can presume GRE is a restaurant. So JVM is acting as a chef. Whatever the things are being done by, this is done by JVM. Now you have the second area into the JVM architecture is the memory area. Okay, this is the next is JVM memory area, right? So JVM divides the memory into different parts. So different parts memory has been divided. The first one is method area, second is a heap, the third is stack. All the objects are created in the heap area, heap memory. So whenever you are going to create the object, this has been created in the heap memory. All the method calls and variable will go into the stack memory. So whenever you are going to call any method or variables, then it's going to be there in the stack memory. So different memory areas have different usage here. Now the third component is the execution engine. The execution engine executes the bytecode. Whatever the bytecode is being generated, this is executed line by line. Okay, that bytecode, this execution engine converts this bytecode into the machine code. Okay, this is how your program runs. This is a whole step. Okay, this is how your programs actually run. Okay, now you have native method interface also. So native method interface is basically a mechanism which allow the Java code to call the code which is written in other languages, mainly in C, C++. In simple words, JNI helps Java to talk to the non-Java code. So JNI is basically used for Java to talk to non-Java code, right? So why does Java needs JNI? So basically Java is platform independent, as I've already told you. It's a secure and robust programming language, runs inside the JVM. Okay, but sometimes Java need a very fast execution, low level. Okay, and it sometimes needs a direct access to OS or hardware. Also, use of some existing libraries C or C++. That's why the JNI is used for accessing these things. So Java use basically JNI, which is helps us to uh, run this non-Java code as well. Now let's complete recap the things what we have learned here. So you have a Java file. You have compiled that Java file by using the command javac. The Java's compiler is going to compile that Java file, and then that is converted into a bytecode. And this bytecode is basically given to JVM, and then JVM produces the output. This is how the Java works internally. So why Java is platform independent? Java is platform independent because of the JVM, right? So uh, different operating systems may have different JVM implementation, but the bytecode remains the same. So you have a bytecode which is acting as a uh, acting here, as that is going to remain the same. That's why the Java program runs anywhere. So basically, JVM is acting as a bridge between the your bytecode and your operating system. Okay. So Interview tip is here. This question is very frequently asked in the interviews. If you have clear understanding, basic of JVM, then you can really be already stand out into the interview. The thing is that sometimes the interviewer may ask why Java C is used. So Java C is basically used for compiling the Java source code. What does Java command do? So Java command runs the bytecode using JVM. Okay, this is very frequently asked in the interviews. I hope you have understood all those things. Uh, Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, share the video. Thanks for watching the video.